Dr. Shannon Clark here. I am reviewing season 23 of the Something Was Wrong podcast. And today's topic is going to be on normal / natural and physiologic birth. In episode 1, a person is being interviewed about their experiences at the birth center in question, and this is what they had to say. When you begin, I'm paraphrasing, when you begin to look into natural birth or physiological birth, you come across a lot of different types of content. You come across bloggers, birth gurus and doulas, midwives, and all these different types of accounts that talk about you don't need to give birth in a hospital. Historically speaking, women are built to birth. And she goes on to say, when you look on Instagram, you see all these pictures and videos of these women having beautiful, transcendent births in bathtubs filled with flowers in their home, that victory face after a woman's just given birth, unmedicated on her own. You look at that and think, I can do that too. And you're further convinced by these people on these platforms that you were built to birth. Now, when you look at what different medical organizations and sources say about what makes a birth normal or natural, there's no one definition. Everybody has an opinion, and I'll put some of those sources in my caption. These definitions range from just not having any pain meds, that makes it a normal birth, or only occurring through physiological processes, which that in itself has no one definition. It could be a spontaneous vaginal birth without instrumented assistance, or a vaginal birth without cesarean section. It can be a birth without or with limited clinical or medical interventions. It could be an unassisted vaginal birth without induction of labor, without epidural, spinal or general anesthesia, or even without episiotomy. And then some just define a normal birth as that which results in healthy outcomes for both the patient and the baby. But I want to focus on what the WHO has to say about normal birth. In 1986, they released a seminal report, and they defined normal birth as the birth that is spontaneous onset, remains low risk throughout delivery, gestational age of 37 to 42 weeks, and the fetus being in the head first or vertex presentation. And this birth should result in healthy outcomes for both the patient and the baby, with the least number of interventions, although some medical interventions are necessary and not precluded. And then 2018, the WHO just removed the word normal and instead uses the word uncomplicated. And they shifted their focus towards obtaining optimal outcomes. So in 2018, the WHO now allows for and actually recommends certain interventions during the birth, such as the availability of anesthesia and analgesia when needed and the patient requests it, the routine use of uterotonic agents for uterine atony or bleeding, and then controlled cord traction on the placenta during the third stage of labor to help with postpartum hemorrhage. But one thing they did emphasize in 2013 is the critical importance of the patient having a positive birth experience. And this is how they defined a positive birth experience. Pause to read. Now, in general, normal, natural, and physiological birth are used interchangeably. But I want to point out this article, which is actually a great article from 2024. So given that there's not one right definition, all of these narratives on social media telling people they were built to birth and feed it to you as the right way and the best way to give birth, and that hospitals are against everything that it stands for, is a very, very dangerous narrative. So if you didn't have the perfect Instagram video birth, that does not mean you did something wrong or that your body did something wrong.